Star Trek intro. Juggernaut. What's Juggernaut? I mean, B'Elanna goes on a Malon ship, and she
Yeah.
nearly dies of radiation poisoning. That's what happens, right?
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
And I can never remember which one is Juggernaut and which one is Dreadnought, because there's 2 episodes where a ship nearly kills B'Elanna. And she wears the same outfit, they put all the same, like, dirt makeup, or actual dirt, I don't know, on her. They're the same episode.
Well, she's not trying to do it to herself in this one.
Yeah. And then the second episode, Someone to Watch Over Me, which is the best one today. It's about Seven and the Doctor, which is all this show is now, starting like mid-season 4.
Yeah.
It's, Mr. Ambassador Man is hanging out with Neelix. It goes poorly.
Yeah. For the most part.
In last episode, 1159, it's just a Christmas episode. A lady from this big company from the big city goes to a small town and falls in love with the small local librarian and his, I assume, crippled child. I know he has a child. It's just a Christmas story.
Yeah.
It's okay. I don't really remember if it's good.
The character that suffers must suffer, the characters that can sing must sing, and the characters that must
lie about their past.
Yes.
Yeah, Someone to Watch Over Me is by far the best episode today. There's no war crimes today. Just, people who will commit war crimes again in the future.
I think the first episode gets close to a war crime.
Does it? What are they? Well, I just remember repairing a ship.
Well, just the Malon in general.
Yeah, they're a little messed up.
And then, you've got Janeway lying about not doing war crimes by omission, at least.
I can't wait till we get that the episode Author, where the doctor's writing about the crew and they get deeply offended, and he says the line.
He's just like, guys.
Yeah, he says the line. As far as I know, Captain, you've never executed a member of the crew, but she has. He just forgot about Tuvix. Oh, so many crimes.
It would be much funnier if the Doctor had just said, "What do you mean? This is just a normal day on Voyager, isn't it?"
I mean, it pretty much... I think it's a good representation. I think it's a good representation of some of the characters, honestly, in Season 1. Like, Tom Paris, Season 1, yeah, that's pretty much Lieutenant Marseille. He was, not great, Season 1. He got better. God, what did they portray Neelix like? Don't they portray Neelix as, like, a murderer? Well, they portray everybody as a murderer, but...
Neelix being the least likely of the lot. Actually, I take that back. I would put Neelix higher on the ranking of who I would suspect to be a murderer on Voyager.
Well, his backstory is he was hired to do a big murder, but he ran away. Maybe he would make up for it now by doing a bunch of murder. I don't know. He's mostly psychological, emotional abuse rather than murder. Freaks people out. I wouldn't trust him anyway, though.
Well, yeah.
It's just an evil hedgehog.
So
also, 20 seconds to start. Everyone queue up Juggernaut. Season 5, episode 22, I think.
20-something. Speaking of 20s, in 20 minutes, everyone on the stream has to ask why it's blurry.
No. What everyone should do is press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
It's not Voyager.
It's it's space gas.
Yeah. Do we know the
Okay,
Malon yet?
it's not
I assume
Barry.
we do.
Do we what?
Do we know them at all?
Yeah, we've met them before.
Okay.
We had the episode. Okay, this is weird. We had the episode where they bring the Malon aboard Voyagers. Like, look, we're so good at recycling. We can give you our recycling technology. And they're like, but the profits, though.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much just monologue for
Starfleet's coming
modern
in
day
and taking our
infantry.
jobs. Okay, airplane playful Malon sounds very familiar. I don't recognize him under the makeup.
Yeah.
Does he play Klingon?
Quite possibly. A lot of these guys play Klingons.
An inhabited citizen.
Yeah,
Since when did the
I
Malon care?
definitely recognize him from something. Not a Jem'Hadar?
He could be. He kind of sounds like that Klingon lawyer from DS9, but I don't think it's him.
No, I don't think it's him, but I think I see it
Ron.
in credits. Which episode's this?
This is Juggernaut. I'm trying to look at. Okay, so Memory Alpha lists like, yes, Fesic, Pelk. And I'm looking at the pictures trying to determine which one we're talking about. I don't know. They all look the same.
Yeah, but I can just.
I don't know
I'll
which.
see if there's a. Well, just is there a link to the actors, and then you can just.
Actually, hang. Whoa, 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 whoa. What? Hang on. Fesic, one of the Malon here, is actually the Klingon lawyer.
Yeah.
It's actually him. Okay, nailed it.
So yeah, so he is.
Ron
Physic
Canada.
from Princess Bride.
No, not that Fesic. No, never go in against a Malon when profits are on the line? When the unemployment rate is on the line? I don't know.
Yeah.
Hello.
Howdy.
Also has apparently appeared on Orville. Just
Ron Canada? Not Ron Out. Who's Ron?
yeah, that one. Apparently also appeared on the Orville at some point.
Okay.
So yeah,
Ron Canada's pretty cool.
in 2 different seasons, 3 different episodes. So obviously,
yeah,
sci-fi.
I never finished watching the latest season of The Orville. I watched like the first 2 episodes, then just kind of stopped. I should get back to it.
The Orville's good fun.
Is the latest season, what is it, season 3, is it good? I remember it was a very different tone.
It's more just fun.
It's a very different tone, but is
yes.
it good?
I thought so.
Okay. Guest stars Ron Canada. Yes. There's like 4 actors in all of Star Trek that portray every like side character. There's Ron Canada. There is Vaughn Armstrong. Jeffrey Combs. And then who's the other? I know there was another one that I was just thinking about that I immediately forgot. J.J. Hertzler is there quite a bit, but I don't think he's not who I was thinking about.
It's another one. Like, I mean, most of them are in DS9. Let's be honest. I don't think. Well,
Ron Canada's in Stargate. Stargate SG-1. Stargate. I kind of stopped watching Stargate SG-1. It was starting to feel kind of samey. It seems like every single episode, the leader man, what's his name? Colonel.
It
Some.
seems like Ron Canada really quite likes his sci-fi then, if he's done the Orville, Star Trek, and Stargate.
What's the Colonel's name in Stargate SG-1? The guy who leads the team? Why can't I
I
remember it? It hasn't been that long.
I haven't really
O'Neill.
watched much of Stargate. I probably should.
What I've learned about Stargate is that every single episode, Colonel O'Neill comes within an inch of death. It's always him. Every single episode, he gets infected with a disease, or mutated, or shot, or stabbed, or burned. Something is always wrong with him. It's like, yes, okay, like, Like, I know O'Brien must suffer, but it's a little extreme with Colonel O'Neill. O'Brien's not every single episode. Oh, Miss Turtlehead.
Apparently, hold on. Ron Canada also played a role in The Next Generation.
Yeah, he was the in that society that was genetically engineered to have very specific rules in their society. Like, oh, I've been engineered to be the president.
Yeah.
He was the guy who was what, augment supremacist, basically.
So that means he's done one episode in each of the three, TNG, DS9, and Voyager. He didn't do. At least I don't think he did Voyager, Enterprise.
No, just the three, TNG, DS9, Voyager.
And then the Orville and Stargate.
Who was he in Stargate?
Or is that a different one? Tell me about Stargate.
Ron Canada was Quartus from the
From
episode
an episode
Bad
in season
Guys
1. Oh.
from season 10, apparently. That would take forever to get to.
Yeah. But now I must watch the whole of Stargate to get to his appearance in.
Yes, one appearance of Ron Canada.
You're a recurring character in Orville then, because he's been there 3 times. Yeah,
There
he's an
are
admiral. He's an admiral.
Okay. There are other Star Trek actors in Stargate. Most notably, there was a holodeck episode featuring Lieutenant Barclay. Most notably to me, anyway.
Nice.
It wasn't like disguised as an alien or anything. It's just Barclay.
There appear to be some escape pods.
Like, what do we do now? Yes, we're off the ship, but I mean,
I don't know if I'd fly so close to them. I mean, they could be mines. They're about the right size.
with how heavily irradiated they probably are basically just mines. You don't get close to them because you're just gonna. It's bad. Why is it still going at impulse? I guess it doesn't matter.
Someone shoot it.
Just give him a second to wake up, Kathy. Okay, this is Wrong Canada.
Yeah.
No, hang on. Can you just like call up the bridge and have them back off a bit? I mean, it'll only take a second. My god, just learn to recycle. Could solve their problems so quickly. Maybe Janeway could give specifically this guy the tech, because the other captain wasn't keen. This guy would probably be into it. He's probably okay with the recycling after seeing basically everybody die. We get a second chance here to show them how. Okay, so yes, they are a little bit close. That seems a
Yeah,
little...
but if antimatter waste has energy stored within it to explode, why are they not using it as energy?
But
Why is it waste?
shut up. That's why. Because it's so radioactive.
Also, if you
'Cause
blow it up, does that is that like a good thing? Does it like
what
turn
is
the
antimatter
molecules?
waste?
Well,
What does that mean?
well, apparently it's what did they call it? Uh, not trilithium, the other one.
Dilithium?
No,
Tritanium?
I think it was one of the tries. It might be one of the I don't know
What does
tetrion
it do?
or something. Radiation, bad.
Triogenic.
No, it might have been tetrion actually. It's green.
Whenever we get a shot of Voyager's view screen, like we just got a behind the back shot of Tom Paris, it looks too small. It looks weird.
It is a bit smaller than the ones in other shows. Although, I mean, Defiance is small, but that's to be expected.
It's like... It reminds me of the TNG battle bridge. It's just like a cupboard compared to the main bridge.
Maybe there's an eyesight requirement for captains to be able to see the view screen on Intrepid class starships.
How? What kind of nebula is it? You could just tell them to leave.
Yeah, you could tell them to go away. I'm
They
sure
only
if you
have to be
told
3
us
light years away. It's not that big a deal at warp.
if you just pop a quick message to the guys saying, by the way, we found a thing that's going to explode. We highly recommend you not be here for the next 6 hours, and then you could go about your business.
We can solve this immediately. No, let's just kill B'Elanna.
Or
It's
they
probably
would
fine.
make the excuse that they are sublight craft.
Then how did they get here?
I personally would have written it so that there's a habitable planet nearby that has like a small colony on it or something. You know?
That would be a very Star Trek thing to do. I'm still not sure it would make sense, because that would feel very much like the Malon were just trying to commit genocide by dumping their waste on a planet.
Well, they could say that the navigation system failed and it was off course from their original heading, or they didn't have time to change it because they were all abandoning ship. But that's putting too much thought into it. So
Look, we just need some reason to get B'Elanna all half dead. Neelix, why are you
Felix,
here?
why do you know this?
Yes, how do you know this?
He's just here. But, he's like that. He's like, ooh, something's happening. I'm gonna be a part of it.
You weren't invited. Quit crashing the party.
Apparently it's theta radiation. Starts with the T, I was close enough.
Are we sure this is a good idea? He said people would liquefy within minutes. I don't know if I trust an inoculation.
Yeah, but we are Starfleet. We know how to fix it.
Have you tried recycling?
No, just the Klingon crew. Don't worry.
But it's more cost effective to dump it than recycle it.
Is it just me or does B'Elanna feel a little inconsistent? It's hard to tell in an episode whether she's going to be super volatile punching people or totally chill.
I would say she stabilizes a bit after they start the relationship between her and Paris, but it doesn't. That's not really the case, is it?
I think that's the point, isn't it? That she's unpredictable and prone to anger.
Possibly.
What is that slop he's stirring?
That's theta radiation slop. It protects against radiation somehow.
Oh, so it is. Yeah.
Neola roots.
The parsley
Oh.
was critical.
Okay, I'm sorry. If Meelix has made something that he doesn't like, then
No, this is specifically not food. I wasn't joking. It is actually supposed to be a cure for theta radiation.
Yeah, no, I know, but like, why is Neelix making it and not the Doctor?
The doctor made his inoculate. This is all a placebo. It's such a weird concept to me that in the future there will be home remedies for radiation poisoning.
I mean, there's home remedies
You
for
know-
radiation poisoning now. They just mostly don't work.
What's a
Or
home
they come in
radiation?
the form of lead at high velocity.
I don't know them personally, but I'm sure if you look up online, there will be countless. Oh, you got radiation poison? Just like drink orange juice and you'll be fine.
Okay, I'm googling
But trust me,
home.
they would date back to the Soviet Union.
Okay, so mostly I'm getting things from the CDC here when I search home remedy for radiation poisoning. Basically saying don't try. But I did find one result saying natural remedies for radiation side effects.
Oh,
Chakotay is just like
See.
dying in the background.
Oh my god. Okay. What do you think? You don't have to give have to say a very specific thing, but just in a general sense, what do you think they would recommend as a natural cure for radiation poisoning?
I'm gonna go with potatoes.
maybe something that's like known to extract toxins out of your body or something.
Like activated charcoal or something.
Yeah.
Their top suggestion is acupuncture.
You're gonna poke you and the radiation's gonna come out.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Brilliant.
Ah,
I
yes.
mean,
well,
I knew it wasn't going to work, whatever it is they suggested, because it's radiation poisoning.
your DNA is destroyed and you're gonna die in 6 weeks. So, you want some acupuncture?
Why didn't they try that in Chernobyl?
That sounds like, what's a cure for radiation poisoning? Oh, just relax yourself a bit. Relax your
It's-
muscles. Make yourself more comfortable for the next 6
It's
weeks
like-
while you die.
It's like one of those things where if you just happen to survive by being lucky, they're like, "See, it worked."
The slow liquefaction of your innards is very chill. Just relax.
Oh, the card is filled with meth.
Great.
I just put ogenic on stuff and it sounds funny, like methogenic. What does that even mean?
Delana instantly
Sta-
takes all her clothes off.
It's time to leave, right?
So the word genic means relating to genes. So what would metagenic substances be?
Metagenic are things that are non-natural genes, things that like alter your genome. Sure, two. It's only big enough for two Malon,
Two
but
at
you
a
guys are
time.
thick. We could fit like 4 or 5 Starfleet officers in there.
Yeah, those
Why
ships
aren't
are
they
like
wearing
clown
suits?
It
cars.
Yeah,
would
that's
have
a
been
good
funny
point.
if Balana had said, "Oh, okay, just do two at a time." And
Why are the crew not wearing suits?
well,
I mean, I know the reason is because they wanted B'Elanna to take her shirt off, but why are they not wearing suits?
I mean, that's fine by me. What about the other guy? Is he going to take his suit off?
He could at least put on a helmet.
He's probably like horribly disfigured underneath his suit because of all the radiation.
It can't be that hard, can it? I mean, space is pretty big.
space is pretty big. Also, how are they the only species doing this? I can totally see Earth doing this in about 50 years.
Oh yeah, it's more cost effective. That's the point he's making. So that's what they do.
I imagine most species who try to do this end up wiping themselves out, and the Malon just happen to not be dead yet.
Or they run into the Borg, and the Borg go, "Oh, that's handy."
Free
Borg are
energy.
like, "Ugh."
Wow.
The Borg go,
Yeah, it's
"Oh,
dirty."
lead us back to your world, thanks."
Yeah, it'll be a big radiation trail you could follow, so it'd be quite easy.
Hmm. In fact, what the Balon are doing for the Borg is making large radiated areas, saying, "There's no people here, by the way. It's uninhabited." So the Borg go around it.
The Borg are like, "Ah, yes, a place to set up a hub."
Hmm.
Did they explain why they don't just launch it into the sun?
What?
All their
Radiation?
waste? Because that would work.
Well, for a warp capable civilization, it's probably nothing, but it's probably just more awkward than just like shipping it away.
You just said that they're basically the decouplers are oxidizing, i.e., they are rusting. It's just
They probably they just want the radiation to go away. They're like, "Yeah, take it away." The way it's making it sound is that if it's like this ship is basically a bomb, and if you just shipped a bomb into the sun, then that wouldn't really work.
Okay, so they're trying to tell us there's some kind of monster on the ship. But it's obviously just like a heavily irradiated crewman, right?
It's a gremlin.
It's a ghoul. It's not a creature, it's Steve. He's just sick.
Anesthetized a species that we don't really know anything about its physiology.
Yeah, whatever.
You'll be fine.
You can't make a diagnosis anyway, Neelix.
you are not doctor.
I'm not hallucinating. I know because I saw it. But he slapped a doohickey on his head. That should cure him.
It beeps and everything.
Yeah, space LEDs. So, okay,
Why are
the
they wasting
creature...
that cortical stimulator on him if he's dead?
Yeah, just take it back. So, the creature is just a guy who's been in the radiation so long, he's probably immune by now, right? If we could
Yeah.
find a way to
become
make that
guy.
happen, to just create ghouls and have them man the ship.
Yeah.
The ghoul ships of the Malon.
How
But
come
I was
nobody
like,
else took
damn
their
it, I'm
shirts
stuck
off?
with Neelix.
That's fine. No. It's good to be stuck with Neelix in this case, because if there is a creature, we can feed Neelix to it.
Mm.
You
Well,
don't
Yeah, but
have
it'd
to be
probably
fast, you just have to be
want
faster
Neelix.
than Neelix.
I imagine
One
Neelix would
disposable
taste
character
awful.
group. He'd be enough of a distraction, though.
Maybe it would poison the creature. Take a bite out of Neelix. Got Leola root poisoning.
Janeway wants to throw it into the sun. Ugh, he still uses water like some kind of primitive.
He's like, we have a solution to what you want. She's like, no.
Balana, do you think it might be radiation poisoning? Do you think maybe you should leave?
Raider blight.
No, you won't. Just leave. We have plenty of crew. Cycle them. You're not fine. You're dying. Oh my god, Balana.
Balana, you idiot.
Why is she like so grimy in comparison to the rest of them? She's just rubbing
Because
the radioactive dirt on her face.
I don't know, man.
Well,
She's
to
way
be
dirtier
fair,
than everyone
Balana,
else. She's the
you're
only
in.
one
Mm.
who took off her jacket. She's all sweaty. Everyone else is fine. I don't know.
I suspect a Rick Berman involved.
It goes to their families.
Now, I would say this is like how Starfleet is supposed to work. Like, if you have a moneyless society, who's going to sign up to mine dilithium?
Mm.
It looks like it's
Ceylon.
going to hurt. Those are big needles.
Oh,
Pain and suffering.
like I know it's just like a prop, and the needle's just like folded in, but it was pretty convincing.
Yeah.
God, what does Rick Berman have against her?
And Harry Kim.
Did she ask for a raise or reasonable working hours? Why is this happening?
Oh, in what world does that not hurt? What just happened to her? Like,
Oh, it does
Yeah.
hurt, but she's strong. She's a Klingon.
She's a Klingon,
it's like
yeah.
two giant metal tubes just forced into the back of your neck. Ouch.
How are you going to factor in luck? Or is she factoring luck or plot armor?
I think she was factoring in the Rick Berman equation.
That's plan B.
Oh God, did Rick Berman invent the decon chamber?
Oh no.
That was Berman, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Like I maintain, I always say, the decon chamber is a fantastic idea. Every ship should have a decon chamber. Whenever people get back from an away mission on a strange planet, isolate them, figure it out, then bring them back in.
It's a good idea.
But you don't have to go all Rick Berman with it with the gel.
No. It is also a good idea for how to separate different characters while still being on the same ship. Like they do in that episode where two people infiltrate the Enterprise.
This episode is
First they got hit
Juggernaut.
from the
It's
head.
season 5, episode 22. Okay, can we also beam back B'Elanna? Because she's dying too. It's some kind of creature.
I never want Neelix to be the voice of reason.
God, they're so
No.
screwed.
Again, why is Neelix on this away mission?
He just decided that
Well,
he was
no.
going to be part of everything.
No, he
He's like,
had an
"Hey, guys."
experience with garbage stuff, right? He actually, there's actually a,
Oh, because he's a
actually pretty good
garbage
reason.
person,
He's a
right?
garbage expert.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Is
okay,
Ron
fair
Canada
enough.
going to survive this episode?
No.
Who?
Ron Canada?
Is that the
No,
guy
he's in the
actually the main one?
laboratory.
Basic.
Don't spoil it.
I don't think he survives the
Don't
episode.
spoil it.
It feels like the ship is going towards being destroyed. I don't
can't remember what
remember.
happens.
I think it might get thrown into the star. I think.
Oh, it's just a nice happy ending. They make friends with the monster and everyone's happy.
My God, B'Elanna, go back to the ship. She's not all right.
Yeah, actually, at this point, why aren't you just rotating through crewmen? Like,
Oh yeah.
do teams of 4, they go out, bring another set of 4 out
That
when
makes
this
sense.
one gets too irradiated. Because transporters are working. They've
Yeah.
tested them multiple times. So
I know, but
as
they're
soon as they
they're
get to
the
a safe
garbage
area,
experts. So
just take these ones out, put new ones in, do a quick briefing, and continue. I get
come
that
on,
B'Elanna's like the
then
chief
it's not
engineer and
looking
all
any
that, but
fun.
also just make B'Elanna the last person to go on, because she'll
feel
be able to
like-
actually fix the problem.
I feel like what you suggested is what they would have done on Enterprise, but it would have still went horribly wrong.
Mm. No, I feel like what I suggested would be what they would have actually done if this was real.
No, but I
And
just feel like that's what they tended to do more in Enterprise. Like
No,
they
what they
seem to
would have
make,
done.
on the face of it, like smarter decisions, but it would still mess up somehow.
What they would have done is they would transport the first group of 4 people, lose contact, transport another 4, lose
Just
contact,
keep
transport
going.
another 4.
And then
There's so many
eventually
people on the
Archer will
ship.
go over as well, because Archer will say, well, he'll save the day, and then he does.
Yeah, and then he runs away from the explosion all manly like,
He does
Like he does
that
in that one
one
episode.
time.
It was really funny when I
No,
seen
he
it. I
does
was
it
just
at
kind of
least
like,
twice.
it was such an important moment in the show, and it was kind of like, oh, we're getting this.
I mean, we had it on the first episode as well when he's running inside the ship, but it's
Yeah.
busy like decoupling itself.
I really would
Yeah,
have
I'm
liked
saying.
Enterprise. I mean, I still really like Enterprise, but I really would have liked it more if they got rid of the Time War stuff.
Yeah.
I think they just
This-
didn't
Yeah.
know where to go with it.
Like, I
think
mean,
that's-
Everyone hated the Time War.
it was a
they
cool
enjoyed.
concept.
They obviously enjoyed doing the Time War stuff. So why don't you just do like a bit of it and then leave it, or do like maybe a 6 or 7 episode arc, because I like doing that at that stage, right? Do a 6 or 7 episode arc of it, and then have it reset, because they do that a lot too.
That's the
And then
easy
you
way
have
out,
your
wasn't it?
Time War stuff, and then it can disappear, and you can fix canon by just
Yeah,
saying
they
it
had
never
a 53 episode Time War arc and then hit the reset button.
Well,
It's like,
yeah.
nope, it never happened. It didn't see because Time War, so the guy never actually started it, so it didn't. Don't worry about it.
Mhm.
Except Florida was still destroyed, and Cuba. But nobody cares about Cuba.
Yeah, because no one on the crew grew up there.
Everybody in Star Trek is American. We know this.
Except Picard.
Okay, Captain Picard, Lieutenant Reed.
Zulu.
Is that it? Who?
Chekhov.
Chekhov. No, oh, hang on. Chekhov's actor is American,
Well, okay.
as is
Yeah,
Scotty's
but-
actor.
You know.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, wait.
Yeah, but Picard's actor's British, but he's French in Star Trek. So, you know. The most
Well,
British
Chakotay is
person
Mexican,
ever-
for that matter.
Yeah.
Bill Shatner is Canadian, so I guess that counts.
Oh yeah. So is Nimoy.
That's like 90% American though.
Yeah, it's a lot of Americans, but that's kind of to be expected by an American TV show.
No, I mean like being Canadian is 90% being American. It's pretty close. It's like American with healthcare.
And generally colder.
And Frencher. Okay, part of Canada's mostly American.
So I have a good question here. Why doesn't Kim beam out the alien?
Kim? Oh, right, Harry. Harry Kim, right. I forgot about it. Because the radiation is preventing a transporter block.
I suppose it makes sense if like they got Chakotay out because the guy said that. Oh no, he said it would be a vacuum; it wouldn't be open to space. But yeah, I don't know. Flop.
Oh no, it's Steve.
This gas.
Yeah, could you not see the gas?
Yes, leave
Oh,
him here.
he's all oily and dirty.
Ah,
Let him
got
die.
him.
I think you should just, leave Neelix there to die.
It's a bit harsh.
He deserved it.
Yes, Bilana, grab a pipe.
Get angry.
Become Klingon.
Hit them both. Sort it out later.
It's yelling.
Bum 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 bum.
God, this does need some amok time. Some good old Spock battle music. It's not a creature, it's just a guy. See, he's fine. He's still intelligent, he's just a ghoul. Are you? You look fine.
He's a zombie.
He's basically got armor in the form of his suit anyway, so you can take it.
Didn't you read the contract? It explicitly says you're gonna be poisoned.
And will probably die. You should probably call Bilana at this point and tell her that, you're about to hit a star.
But yeah,
Oh,
we're just
here we
gonna
go.
Oh, okay, right. Did you just tell
What?
Janeway to do that?
Wait, but why didn't Janeway tell her beforehand?
Before they did
Now,
it, yeah.
now they have like 2 minutes.
Probably communicated off camera. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Beam everybody off, then adjust the course into the star.
Oh, I guess this is why they should have done it. Whoops. Oops.
Alana, do you want to tell Janeway about the core labor? Wait, the gas is gone. We can shoot him now. Alana, you've got a gun. Do something about it. Oh, this is therapy for Balana. Saying to him what she's saying to herself. Okay.
Just whack him in the head with a pole.
Shoot him.
Or shoot him.
Hey guys.
Hi.
Is this episode against sanitation workers?
I feel like when Balana started beating that guy with the stick, we should have had like the dark side theme play. Dark side points gained.
Yeah.
Is Ron dead?
You can't Balana hit him with a stick. Oh no,
No.
he's still here. He's okay.
You're right.
She did still beat him in the head with a stick, but he lived.
Yum.
I mean, they were all gonna die.
Would you like to go to warp?
Whoa, that was a big explosion.
Dang
I
it.
did,
Oh, now you got them. Okay.
We didn't save Steve. I would have really liked if at the start of the episode when they were making the inoculation, instead of saying, oh, this will keep you safe for like 3 hours, they would have said, oh, this will keep you safe for about 35 minutes.
Yeah.
Isn't there one episode where they do that, where they make a pretty explicit reference to the runtime of the episode? Oh no, that's not Star Trek. I think that's a cartoon.
Yeah, I was gonna say
am I
I don't
thinking
think
of?
I don't think that's a thing in Star Trek.
Okay, this is slowly coming to me. There's an episode of SpongeBob. Yes, I remember.
there's something. Sorry to cut you off.
How dare you?
I know it's your show. So the problem here, this episode showcases the problem that Balana is shown as hot-tempered, and she's also Latina. So like the stereotype of like going back to I Love Lucy as like Latino women or Hispanic women as especially spicy or hot-tempered, unusually, and that's what makes them attractive.
I mean, I think it's because she's Klingon. Is that not the point? It's nothing to do with her ethnicity.
Yeah, true, but she's known to be a hothead.
I think that's just assumption that you've made.
Okay, that's a valid criticism. The other thing I was going to say was about garbage workers. So this is actually a real life problem. After the Japanese tsunami, I think 2014, the Fukushima plants had big problems. And so now we have like 5,000 barrels of wastewater that we couldn't do anything with. And Japan has decided to slowly release the wastewater into the Pacific. And the other countries like Philippines and such are mad because they're like, well, that comes to us. So, what do you do with nuclear waste? I thought was a poignant issue in this episode.
But
Yeah,
going back to
it's a big thing.
SpongeBob,
Thank you.
I don't understand how memory works. Just like tiny fragments of the memory were slowly coming to me over the course of like 2 minutes of that. So in SpongeBob, there's a reference to the runtime where SpongeBob runs off into the wilderness, and they're talking like, yeah, no, he's gonna be back in like, I gave him like 10 minutes. And naturally, the show, he comes back in 10 minutes because TV.
But like exactly 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was 11 or something. They just give the exact number of minutes until the episode is over.
Yeah. You know what I was wondering there? We've seen how the sonic shower like cleans you like that. Surely that's like an aerosolized dirt, and that's probably not good
Don't
for you
worry,
to
it
be
gets
like breathing that in while you're
printed into,
in the
don't worry
shower.
about it. Also, 1 minute to someone to watch over me, the best episode of today.
Oh.
And apparently we're not allowed to sing along.
No.
Oh. Well.
That was
I
what
preemptively
that was
say, no singing You Are My Sunshine. I am not your sunshine.
Oh, we have to.
Yeah. Well,
But please don't take my Star Trek
It'll
away.
be like horribly desynced, like the last time we sung along something together.
it's true.
That's still available as a separate video if you would like to go rewatch it.
Oh,
Listen
I
to
wouldn't
everyone's
recommend it.
beautiful
In fact, I would recommend it, but oh my god.
When you're not happy, my skies are gray.
And please
So-
don't take my Star Trek away.
Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
I actually did sing that song to Lover, and within a few weeks of that, the relationship was ended. So if you don't have a singing voice, you actually shouldn't sing that song.
Wait, you sang it after the relationship ended? What?
No, before. I was
No, I
in
think
bed.
what he's
I was in
implying
bed
is that it
cuddling.
ended the relationship.
Yeah. I was in bed cuddling, and the song has a very specific key, so you can't just like, because the if you're not happy, my skies are gray. So you have to hit that correctly. You can't just.
Yes, because you're out of tune, the relationship.
Yeah.
He was so offended.
I doubt it was entirely because of that particular reason.
Basically, I think that the straw that broke the camel's back. Like,
Isn't the actual full lyrics of that song super creepy?
I just knew that one
Not
verse.
Maybe.
creepy.
Like,
It's just
The
Also,
doctor
it's not
sings
like
the thing.
three
I
Or clingy?
cried.
There's something weird
It
about
is.
it.
Yeah, the verse the doctor
Ah.
sings that I'm not familiar with, that is a little bit like, what is the song about? Because it's not just a simple little ballad.
okay. I found the lyrics.
Oh wait, but wait, Seven is spying on them, and
Yeah, she does it all the time. Don't worry about it.
and Bolano's saying I'm uncomfortable, and then she says everybody knows when you two are mating.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I found, yes, the lyrics that are creepy are, I'll always love you and make you happy if you will only say the same. Sure, good. But
No.
if you leave me to love another, you'll regret it all someday. What?
Oh,
What?
Why is that in the song? Why is there a
Is
threat?
that actually the lyrics?
Yes, that's in the song.
I don't remember that.
So 0300 intimate relations resume. That's crossing a boundary, Seven. I don't know why we're chastising Balana here. Balana's not crazy. You can't spy on your co. Oh, actually,
Gaslighting Bolano.
It wouldn't even be the first coworker who knows that she's broken, Seven.
no, but similarly,
Is there precedent for this?
in college, I wasn't in the dorms, but all my friends were, and so the bad part of the dorms is like everybody around you knows when you're like sneaking someone in, like when you have someone in your room. So
It sounds like you're digging yourself a hole that's getting deeper.
No, I'm just saying. I am just saying.
It
Though,
was, a funny remark to start with, and now it's like kind of sad.
there's no privacy in a dorm, so I would imagine the Starship Voyager is kind of the same. Same relationship that ended weeks
It's
after singing the song.
unclear how much privacy they get in terms of like soundproofing, because apparently
Yeah.
there's nobody on Deck 9, Section 6 who doesn't know when they're having relations, and people
Yeah.
can hear Harry Kim playing his
Maybe
clarinet.
they just have relations in the hallway. I don't know.
Quark can hear people shape-shifting. Well, people.
Yeah, that's
One person
Quark.
in particular.
Yeah, he's got
Quark
ears the
makes
size of.
sense because he
well-
has large ears, and they have really good
He
hearing.
can probably like feel the vibration of the universe with those ears.
But like, so in Quark's case, it makes sense. In Seven's case, slightly less so.
We know in lower decks the cargo bays are very well soundproofed because they don't hear a red alert from the hallway,
Yeah.
like 5 feet from the door.
But that, again, cargo bay makes sense because it is a pressurized area because the it can depressurize, right?
Like
I
Um,
would
that-
hope all the ships pressurized.
well, you would hope that the rest of the ship would have equal amounts, but you have like bulkhead doors and things that will
but
stop.
wouldn't they
depression.
play the siren, the red alert siren in the?
I think
Yeah,
that
the
it was
speaker
broke. There was
yeah,
a thing.
it was,
Oh, okay.
That's
Okay,
the
fair enough.
bay door opening. Like, da, 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 da. Klaxons. Okay, and so Seven has a meeting with the captain,
yes,
And the
she's
captain
currently
isn't-
having it.
and she's not terribly bothered. The fact that Seven takes notes.
How much is 30,000 gigaquads?
Much
What
And
is a
quad.
gigaquad?
I think this has worked.
That's an
in
established
YouTuber.
unit.
That's not that much now. I think I'm pretty sure Cisco and Microsoft have more data, especially with AI and stuff.
How
Yes,
much
but
is
I
a
want to
quad
know what
in
it is in
kilobytes or
relation to
whatever?
my 10 terabytes.
Yeah. No.
If your hard drive's overflowing with the data, or if it's fine.
I'm just
Just a
concerned
folder.
about the nature of the data. If it's because that sounds like a lot.
True.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
but it's probably
if it was just
questionnaires she
text, it
spams
wouldn't.
everyone with.
If it was
Oh, yeah,
just
it's
text
these
and pictures,
dudes.
it shouldn't take up that much space.
Maybe she
Big
downloaded
data, you know. She's like tapping into the big data of the ship.
This reminds me a bit of that TNG episode where they had the three ambassadors having three completely different experiences.
Reminds me of the one
Yeah.
where the fish
That's
people stood
Riva?
here for ages and they actually had a bomb on them.
Yeah, the Antedians.
That's well remembered, if that's what they're called.
It doesn't matter what their name is. They're just the fish people.
ANTE.
Their little like sash things are just they just want to fall off.
I like their voice. Their voice is like they're talking as though they're underwater. But
That's the one where the guy goes absolutely crazy and eats like
Yeah.
17,000 desserts.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
And
And he hits
And he-
on 7 of 9, and
he
he
demands Seven
nearly he gets drunk.
respond to his.
And then they like inject coffee surgically into him and he's like, oh, I'm okay, I'm okay.
You can't just take random alien species to engineering.
We do in Star Trek Generations. Oh, never mind. That's Geordi. He's the only engineer in Starfleet who doesn't go to engineering. But yeah, this episode makes fun of religious people and their dietary laws. Like no pork. Mormons cannot have coffee or tea. Caffeine is a drug.
Is this one of the episodes where he's trapped here in sick bay? No, I'm thinking there was an episode where he's like talking to Seven. Was like, what happened? Tell me the gossip. I'm not allowed to leave. I don't have my emitter.
Is it creepy the way Doctor loves Seven? Because I mean, he's a great character. I don't want to smear a great character.
Yeah,
But,
it's a little weird, the age gap, the fact that she's like,
Yeah,
20
yeah,
years older than him.
But yeah, and also like, well, at one point though, when they reset the Doctor or something, like he confesses his love to Seven and then he rematerializes. This is in like season 6 or 7.
Yes, and she politely pretends it never happened.
Yeah,
It's
so that's-
actually the opposite. She's way older than the Doctor.
That's what I said, yes.
Oh, okay.
She's like 20 years older than him.
What would he be now? Like 6?
He's 6.
Yeah.
Or 5.
It's season 4, isn't it?
This is season
Like-
5.
I'm
Is it
not
season
saying
4? Okay.
I'm not saying the character can't be with the character. Like, you can have a perfectly fine relationship. I'm just saying, like, the way he hides it, and he also, like, at one point, right? So he wants to know why she, like, even in this episode, he wants to know why she's studying love. But later, he wants to know, like, about her love life in a non, like, doctor
Well, he's
patient capacity. So
I think he's
You never
trying
know what
to.
you want from him.
What do you call that when you? Ah, what's it called?
he's like, "Are
by
you?"
proxy, like enjoying it, you know, because he's
Yeah.
like, oh, a relationship is forming and all that.
No, it's when she's in love with Holodeck Chakotay. He's like, "Why were you running a Chakotay program? Why don't you love me?" And that's what I'm saying is kind of too much.
Are you prepared to learn about reproduction? We can learn about the Fortress Ovum being besieged from all
Okay,
sides.
the problem with this scene is it's
so
very
cute. That's adorable.
it's very heteronormative. He's teaching her about love, and every single thing is man meets woman.
It was
And
the
so-
90s, man. What do you want?
All right, I'm just saying this scene doesn't age well, because now if you do a corporate PR presentation,
Wait, be
Can't-
silent. This is important.
oh, this is how we
Okay,
all
no,
started.
Such a
it's
good
over now.
episode.
This is how
That's
we
all we
started.
needed. The episode's over.
Resume conversation now that we have talked about the siege.
One of us was the fastest little soldier in that march.
No. Second fastest. The first one dies.
Oh, really?
I
Well,
might be making that up. I'm remembering biology lessons from
I feel
like
the
15
first
years
one
ago.
dies, probably.
As
Well,
I
you know,
recall,
salute-
it's
salute
the
to that
first
little
one
guy.
like dissolves the outer covering, and then the second one is able to get through.
Oh,
Well,
nobody is the
still never won a
strongest
race in my
possible
life.
human.
Only one of us made it.
Ah,
Well,
hats
all
off
of
to the
us
little
made
guy.
it, just in separate occasions.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Which part is you? Because, I mean,
Both. We made it into ourselves.
I was the best
But
and
whenever
fastest
people-
of the whole bunch.
whenever people say that, it's like, oh, yes, I was the fastest one. But like, no, you were just hanging out there as well. You were just chilling. You were an egg.
Egg.
Later, the Doctor has more like PowerPoint slides, and he bores the ship to death, like about his photographs and stuff.
I think that's his superpower, genuinely. Like, he can kill people with boredom. I suppose I thought he took an oath to do no harm. Is that not some kind of harm?
So George Bernard Shaw was a famous playwright.
May I buy you a drink? No, it's the future. What do you? We don't do that here.
He was British, but he wrote actually somebody else wrote Pygmalion, and then he did it. And I think that's Ibsen, who was like a European, Swedish, I want to say, playwright. But but this actually even goes back to ancient Rome. It was not the Ovid wrote.
What's the relation to Star Trek in this story?
So the story
It's
of
walking.
where you take a statue, you give her life, and then, or in Pygmalion, you take a lower class English countrywoman, girl selling flowers on the road, and you put her in a bourgeois dress, and you make her like mingle with society, and everybody thinks that she's an aristocratic.
I'm going to be honest. I have no idea what you're talking about. What?
So here, the Doctor and Paris make a bet. Like, can you take lifeless, charismaticless Seven and make her into a charming love interest or date? And so in the play Pygmalion by Ibsen, it's the same thing where they make a bet of like, can you take this lower class flower girl and make her into an aristocratic society woman who can like charm a ballroom dance? and it backfires because the woman finds out, like, you guys were making a bet about me, and Seven is really hurt in this episode. Sorry for the monologue.
Vicariously, that's the word I was looking for. The Doctor vicariously enjoys Seven's romance.
I mean, he doesn't want to, but like he wants to confess to her at the end of the episode. It just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
What Latinum? What are you talking about?
They've got Latinum. It's just for under table dealings. It's like, you know how if you use cash instead of contactless, if you don't want like it to be on the record or something like that.
Those are
like,
my
Yeah,
only
yeah,
two
yeah.
options: cash or contactless.
well, I suppose you could do your Neuralink implant direct transfer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you either do cash or cashless.
If you want to do a black market trade on the ship, you use Latinum.
Well, I was just thinking specifically the term contactless uses
Yeah.
NFC stuff.
We use a
It's
card
like,
now.
no, we don't.
You
What
don't do
kind
that?
of fancy new world are you living in? We just have
Europe?
a card reader. You have to put it in the slot.
So
I mean, it wasn't a big thing until that thing that shall not be named, because it affects the performance of videos for the last couple of years.
in every other episode, Neelix's cooking is the worst. Like people make like a pained expression on their face whenever like Neelix says, "Do you
This
want to
guy
try
has
this?"
never tasted
'cause he-
flavor before. He's taken what he can get.
Like, oh my!
Imagine if he then tried something legitimately good.
Like Gordon Ramsay or something.
What if he feeds him the rodeo sauce?
Beef Wellington.
Rodeo?
Yeah, he makes Mike's
Wait, what
Rootin'
is the
Tootin'
first
rodeo
thing-
sauce or whatever, red hot
What?
sauce.
The
Rodeo.
first thing that Neelix
Yeah, I
gave
know,
to
but
this
he
guy
calls
was
it rodeo.
Leola Roots.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, my God.
He keeps calling it rodeo
Okay,
sauce.
okay. I thought you were mispronouncing it as a Scotsman, not Neelix because he's the worst.
A rodeo.
Rodeo.
Leola Root.
He's just eating yogurt.
I think
Doesn't even look
They
great.
kind of did
Looks-
this episode in TNG when they had the 3 ambassadors that were sent to the Enterprise to learn the different things about humans.
Yes, and the dude walked up and grabbed the child and was like, "Do you like dessert?"
Can I give him some chocolate?
yeah. So Seven has like 0 personality.
Well,
Yeah, I feel you,
yeah, they
7.
didn't have room for personality or collective.
But by the way, the great line though, I was like, "What do you dislike and dislike?" She goes, "I dislike irrelevant conversations." She does. You can't get a conversation out of her.
So what are your guys' interests? What are your likes and dislikes? How do you feel about irrelevant conversation?
Yeah.
I like long walks on the beach.
I like the plexiglass chevrons at the top and bottom of the alcoves that had the glowing indirect.
That's one of your hobbies, looking at the chevrons at the top
green.
and bottom of the...
Here, I'm gonna mute myself out of courtesy.
Yeah, she's all right.
All right.
Robert Picardo's better.
Yeah.
Wait, she has a vocal subprocessor? That's not fair.
That's cheating. Yeah.
Rip it out.
Just like
She just-
just like last episode where she was cheating to solve the puzzle cube, puzzle dodecahedron, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Why do Borg? Okay, I guess maybe like they have auto tune in there. But I say, why do Borg need perfect pitch? Maybe it's for like
It's like
certain
They act
signals.
like a modem. They act like a modem.
Yeah. They
They're
have
like
the yeah.
communicate
you
with certain
understand each other.
things, devices.
This line is also cringy. I want to say, when I awoke, I was mistaken, and I hung my head and So it's not a happy song at all. It's like a depressing song.
Yes.
Which
It's
contains
about-
a threat.
Depressing and threatening. Okay, good cycle of healthy emotions.
Also, did you notice in the last episode that sort of board computer console, the Malon used the exact same console? Wow. What a
Wow,
coincidence.
really?
This
All right, prepare for the Doctor to realize he's in love.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was directed very well when he stopped singing.
Who did direct this?
Robert Duncan McNeil, I think.
There it is. Now he knows he's in love.
It's like a really cute moment between those two, though, isn't it? Singing
it is.
together.
It is.
They even
They-
sang it at a convention once together.
They sing in Klingon also.
they?
By the way.
Yeah, they did.
Wow.
No.
Did it sound as good as that, though?
Yeah, they sounded pretty good. I mean, there wasn't like background backing music.
Are they both singers as well? Like, trained to do that?
Robert
IRL?
Picardo is.
Yeah,
I know
Picardo
Robert
does
Picardo
opera.
as well.
I don't know about Seven. Jerry Ryan, that's her name.
I
don't
don't know
know.
about that Borg chick.
Why do they have archaeology and astrometrics behind Kim?
Don't worry about it. Based on how
That's not archaeology. That's a Borg
Oh, okay.
technology.
based on her
panel thing.
singing in this episode, I would be willing to bet that Seven has had not Seven. Dang it, Jerry Ryan has had some training in music.
Mhm.
It could have been lip synced.
When an actor knows
That
how to
sounded like
sing
her.
and dance,
It sounded like
and
her.
act, they're called a triple threat in acting.
Maybe not.
Because how are you supposed to compete with somebody who can sing and dance and act?
Okay, I just want to point out that Harry excluded this person because he didn't have a sense of humor for Seven.
Yeah.
But that's probably not a bad thing,
Yeah.
Well,
right?
yeah.
That's an asset.
Someone
yeah.
with no sense of humor is probably a good match as a first try.
Yeah. She's so quick.
He reminds me of
Your
Andy
presence
from The
is
Office.
required.
Oh,
So this- It was very Data. Like,
Little slow on the uptake, Chapman. Speed it up.
you know,
Take your response. You didn't text me back.
no, this is definitely directly
What's
to
the
the
dress
point.
code? Where are we going? What are we eating? What's for dinner?
No, I don't think he wants to ask any additional questions because if he does, he probably just dies.
She like coerced him into a date.
Mm-hmm.
I basically cornered him and was like, dinner.
Basically said,
She did use the word
"You shall go
required.
on date." Yes, okay, see you there.
She's assertive.
Yeah, but in the most frank way possible.
I remember being in 7th grade. Math teacher gave us good advice. If you ask a girl out on a Friday and she says no, you don't have to see her till Monday. So
Okay.
seven cut right to the point.
What do you mean so? Have you seen Seven? Jesus, Tuck.
That's a shame. I need to head off, unfortunately. But enjoy the rest of the episodes, guys.
Don't
Okay,
tell
have a
me
good
what
one.
to do.
Yeah.
Bye.
Nice talking to you. I don't know what Paris's problem is in this episode. Every time the Doctor is like trying to make some headway, he's like, "You know you're gonna fail, right?"
Yeah, it's a bit toxic.
I actually think it's out of character for the character. He's not that like Schadenfreude. He doesn't enjoy other people's
Sometimes I think
failures.
sometimes he's got a little bit of a mean streak and it comes out, you know, in this way.
Okay. All right. I mean,
Like,
I don't-
even the way he was looking at the Doctor there, it's like,
Yeah,
alright, it's
yeah,
mean Tom today. Maybe
Yeah.
B'Elanna was like punching him a bunch last night and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take out the Doctor.
in Marseille too, he was like, even now he was like, she's not going to be able to finish it like a 1 hour at a polite dinner. So I thought the word panache was pronounced panache, but that's only because I learned it from a stupid college kid my age. So
Panache?
Nash.
It's not panache, it's panache. It literally just means like a feather in a cap. So it just means when you have a little extra style. But Star Trek gave me a good vocabulary.
Dermoplastic
I'll always
garment.
I'll always be indebted to the show for that. I mean, I didn't know the word panache from here, but
Well,
other
hang on,
words.
Doc. What are the options? Show us the screen. What if we use the transporter to beam the outfit onto her?
Yeah,
Is he being weird about it? He's already seen her like completely naked.
yeah.
Yeah, but he just realized he's in love with her, so now he feels awkward.
And she has no shame whatsoever when it comes
Before
to
it was clinical. It's a different context.
He's got like, you know, the anonymous alien race rags on, and she's walking in this.
She does have a fantastic outfit because you just wonder
Yeah.
how that. No, how is that thing even wrapped around her?
With a transporter.
Okay.
It's none of these people exist, Seven. You can do what you want. Sit wherever you want.
You can.
Oh, the doctor's there. Forgot about that.
Yep. Oh, wait. That's an actual crewman in the background.
Yeah, there's someone. Two people.
a real
It's like, I'm
person.
just trying to eat dinner. What's
Two people having dinner here. What's the point of dinner in a holiday? Anyway, let me not think too much.
well, it's a nice place, you know, to go
Alright, alright.
because you can't. I mean, well, what are you going to do? Stay at the bulkhead in Neelix's place every night?
Did you see Blade Runner 2049?
Yeah.
So I like it's kind of I thought it was new in sci-fi really, but when he eats the steak, but it's really like a bowl of ramen noodle underneath it, they just project a hologram of it on top, so you feel like you're not eating poor food.
Well, Chapman's trying so hard.
He would have been.
He doesn't exist. Be assertive. I can think of ruder ways to get a server's attention.
Throw a fork at them, or you. She didn't even yell waiter, which would have been really rude. Oh man,
I
Who
don't
picked lobster.
understand lobster.
I just
I
learned
don't understand the appeal.
You're not supposed to
Oh.
crack the legs like you do. You just cut it at the joint, and then you like jerk your hand to like let the force come out.
I
Oh,
I just
no.
don't see the appeal of
needed
eating
to-
something that has an exoskeleton. It looks like a hassle.
It's delicious. That's the appeal.
Yeah, it is, and it's expensive too. So you could feel like you had a fancy night on town. But yeah, they don't serve it to you like that. They serve it to you half.
God, Chapman's sweating. He's having a nervous breakdown. Doctor, what have you
mean, you know-
done?
I think he's trying hard, you know? We should be getting behind him and being like, keep going, buddy.
They didn't eat one bite of food. Like
He is trying really hard.
she's
I
about
think
to
this is an appropriate time for the phrase, "Oh, bless your heart."
Yeah.
She's about to step on his foot and send him to sickbay.
Oof, been there.
No, you know, he's still going for it. He's like, all right, just calm down and we'll. But he's like internally like, oh my god, oh god.
Jinx, what do you mean you've been there? When was the last time you had to turn off your chronographic sequencer?
No. I've just trying to lead, and someone else thinks they have the better chronographic sequencer than me. It's very
So you
frustrating.
didn't actually turn it off.
I learned in a tango
Well,
class.
I was the one leading, so I didn't need to.
Even experienced tango instructors have to practice like their steps every day. Like there's a step you do, just walk like one step at a time, and you pace yourself. Practice every day. Oh, so she doesn't step on his foot. Okay, she twists his ligament.
It's fine. Seven eventually gets a girlfriend. She makes it work.
It's true. It only takes, what, 20 years?
Yeah.
It's really weird how Seven still keeps a bored personality. Because I think in this episode or someone else, they ask like, "What do you want, Seven? Like, what's your thing?" And she goes, "Perfection." It's like you're not a Borg anymore. You're allowed to like. She's not. She can't be that wooden.
Was it a joke? I feel like that was just a statement of fact.
I think
Very
it
dry
was,
joke.
It was a pun on the word short or something.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's a pun on the word short?
I didn't get what happened before.
Where's the pun? Lieutenant
You
Chapman's
tore up
not
your
short.
date. Let's dance.
If Lieutenant Chapman was like 4'6", that would have been a short date.
Bro. Someone play the cricket sound effect.
I don't have
No,
a
that was
soundboard set up. I could get one.
Yeah, obviously.
Play the crickets for my own jokes. That seems good.
no, that was a good joke because
Oh, was
my friend's dad saw Tom Cruise in like Times Square in real life, and he said the guy was
as
so
opposed to
short.
what?
Well, yeah, but
In Times Square, like in
Uh-huh,
VR
uh-huh.
chat or something.
yeah. So he said the guy is so short. I don't know if I was looking at Tom Cruise or Tom Thumb.
What?
So
How does Cruz go to thumb? What?
the guy's like 5'4" or something.
But like,
Yeah.
how?
But I don't get the joke.
No,
Tom Cruise, more like Tom Rowboat.
But what is the joke? I mean, I know it doesn't make it funny when you have to explain it, but I don't get it.
you know, Tom Thumb was like a classic English folk character, like Mother Goose.
No, I don't know that.
No?
Okay, you guys are young.
Tom Thumb was published in 1621. No, that's why I don't know who it is.
Okay.
The lady on the right, I feel like we see her in DS9. I think she hangs out in Quark's bar.
She looks a little like Bejazel.
Actually, you know, if you have the historical knowledge, that joke is funny.
This is the actor from Kids in the Hall, yeah? This is the comedian
Sure.
slash actor from Kids in the Hall. I'm trying to think of his name.
So synthahol is supposed to be able to be broken up with adrenaline.
Scott Thompson. Yeah, Scott Thompson.
Scott Thompson sounds very familiar.
So the doctor
Canadian
only-
comedian actor best known for being a member of the troupe Kids in the Hall.
See, the doctor accepts her for who she is.
After trying to change
Change
who she
her,
is.
yes. He realized it was a bad idea.
Yeah. Wow.
humor is a really interesting evolutionary development.
Yeah, I wonder what's behind that. I'm sure there's 20 anthropologists that could tell us, but
So, there's a guy named Daniel Dennett. He's like an atheist writer because he hangs out with Sam Harris and Richard Dawkins. And so he has a TED talk about how there's an ant. If it gets a parasite, it climbs onto the top of a stalk of grass where a cow eats it. And it's because it has a parasite that hijacks the nervous system of the ant, because this parasite can only reproduce inside the guts of a cow. So it uses the ant, hijacks it. And so the guy, Daniel Dennett, he says that religion is very much like that parasite. It makes someone do something that's against their self-interest because it like goes inside the mind. So I didn't read his book, but he said his next book that he was coming out with would explain. Well, okay. So the other thing is that when you find someone attractive, it's because evolution sets you up to like their genes. And when you find food tasty, it's because evolution says like, look, this is a lot of calories. It's tasty. And so when you find something funny, this is my conclusion. I didn't read his book. His book is about why we developed humor from an evolutionary point of view. I feel like if you're in a stressful situation, humor breaks it up and lets you like move on, or humor can even be true. So it'll help you realize the truth in an ironic kind of way. And so that helps you solve problems. And also, like I said, morale-wise, it helps you get past problems you can't solve.
So,
Yeah.
lesson 23 is clearly the worst lesson in the book. Does anyone ever want to give a toast?
Seven's doing a great job here, by the way. This is why this episode is kind of like depressing, because she's doing very impressive, and yet it comes burning down.
No, God, is this? Oh my God. This alien ambassador is a self-insert of Rick Berman.
he's like all like drunk and like, "Ugh,
I demand everybody.
I want cake."
We don't get to see dress uniforms in Voyager much, obviously because they're in the Delta Quadrant. Not too many formal occasions for.
Oh, she schooled them both.
Oh.
Savage. Thank you for a lovely evening. Never recover.
No, but she's learning the manners thing, right? He's trying to teach her manners and rituals and etiquettes. So she does, again, she gave a great toast. She said F you in the most polite way possible. But it's kind of ironic because she was offending B'Elanna and Paris at the beginning of the episode. And now has the sensibilities.
So, synthahol is actually just alcohol, but it
Breaks down in the bloodstream over time.
I think that what would make sense is that they would add an enzyme to it to assist in the breakdown of it, so this shouldn't be a problem.
I like that the dress uniforms are still from TNG.
So he's like Amish here, in the sense that like he's not allowed to have technology.
I don't think that's accurate.
I think it's just that his culture is very like everything's got to be bland.
He doesn't believe in flavor or jokes.
Doesn't believe in pepper.
They were saying though he can't have the nanoprobes because they don't.
Peppers are the devil.
Yeah. For example, Jehovah's Witnesses, they cannot receive a blood transfusion. It's against their religion.
I really want that tray, that rolling cart that they're using there.
And you can probably
Seems
just like get it from an
fantastic.
industrial.
You could probably just like build one.
Probably. So here's a question. I don't know if there's anybody in the audience who's a Jehovah's Witness, but if you needed to get a major surgery, could you, and you needed to have a blood transfusion, could you preemptively donate your own blood to be used in your own surgical procedure, so it's not
Oh,
anybody
yeah.
else's blood?
People do that.
I mean, I would do that just because.
That seems like it would reduce the risk.
I don't want to use my own blood. I want someone else's blood. Better blood. High quality
want-
stuff, you know?
I don't want to pollute
The
my
good
blood.
shit.
The Klingon filth.
You know, I don't want my blood. My blood's crap.
Well, I heard that some rich people hire young people who are a match for their blood, and they get like frequent transfusions from them because it keeps them young.
I don't think it's like the key to immortality, but I think that it does like slow down the raging. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
They
can't
believe it. They believe it.
I can't confirm that, but what they
Right.
do is it's called like a vampire facial, where you put like blood on someone's face, and that like rejuvenates you because blood obviously has all the I don't know what antioxidants or whatever, but I saw there's this like real estate flipping show, Tariq El Musa. They did that in the show. They showed him like getting a blood facial, and he like it looks like you get Botox, but like it's not Botox. It's kind of crazy.
The real way to prevent aging and really gain immortality is to just make sure your cells have something to do. Because
Mhm.
they do the same thing
Cells that
day
work.
in, day out, divide and die and divide
Mhm.
and die. They need change.
You need to entertain the cells.
Are you
Exactly.
saying that the
Cellular
cells
entertainment
need
chamber.
they need Netflix subscription or something?
Yes.
There's a whole episode of Deep Space Nine where they're trying to
Lion.
trade for a card or something.
Yeah.
Like their whole
A
goal is to
Willie
get a
Mays
card
baseball
for
card.
Mhm.
right.
You just need to make sure that your telomeres don't break down, and then you can keep replicating permanently.
This line's hilarious because the old monk is like, "You should have tried some. You should have entertained your wild side." But I will say this:
These
like
people look like giant babies with their hats. I don't
In-
like them.
in Roman Catholicism, obviously priests can't get married. But you know, especially back in the day, there wasn't too much media, television, even newspapers. So when a priest did have a child, you know, many times with the nun, they would just give up like the child for adoption or have an orphanage just for those children born of priests and nuns. But like they wouldn't really punish the priest because they'd be like, well, it wouldn't be the first time a priest broke his vows. They know
Now
that.
the Jedi, when they have children, they just well, they feed them to Anakin.
They feed
He
them,
knows
just
what to
grind
do
them
with
off
them.
into a paste.
So this is lame because did we find out who directed this episode? Sorry to not do the work myself.
You got a computer, you can figure it out.
All right, let me do it. But this is not really 7. You're confessing?
Oh my, okay, so you know how when you're in the shower, you have these fake arguments in your head where like, oh, I could have said that. I would have totally roasted them. Do you think people do that with the holodeck where they go to like,
And they roast them. They're like, "Yeah, I'm doing it for real. Yeah."
wait, they do that. No, we have an episode of Barkley does that with Riker.
Oh yeah, he like
Oh
takes
my
them
god,
out.
that's a thing. Of course, everyone thinks he has a serious problem, and he goes to therapy about it.
Yeah.
And but so she comes in, like what if she came in and he was talking to her? To fake her.
Then it just would have been like Leah Brahms again. It's
Yeah.
fine.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of creepy.
No, but Leah Brahms and Geordi eventually got married, so it works out.
Well, we know her name was Leah. This is a very Deep Space Nine kind of title. Oh, it's a song by Ella Fitzgerald.
Well, hang on, Seven. What about the Delaney sisters?
It's like a corporation is dumping the Doctor the way she's talking.
I don't know if you want to say that, Doctor. We have like 4 episodes about people trimming your memory. Unforgettable is a bad word for you.
He's got like backup saved in every single part of the ship, like just this one little thing. USBs taped to the walls and stuff.
It's like he's playing through amnesia. He just leaves notes for himself. It's like, I am the Doctor.
But what's my name? Doctor Who?
I have a VPN rolling. I can't Google.
What?
What?
Can
And
you show me
shitty VPN
Google?
you got?
I
What
don't know
VPN
what.
are you using?
I don't know why. It's the first time this happened. I'll do it from my phone.
Well, you just defeated the point of using a VPN then.
Maybe you should try NordVPN.
The sponsor of this video.
Robert Duncan McNeil directed this episode, as I said. So that's some lame. That was a lame thing right there.
Why is there a tricorder on the piano?
Because he's
It's
a doctor.
his little gadget, you know, he carries it around.
Always, it's like a doctor always has a stethoscope around his neck.
Does he carry real tools or are they holographic?
I suppose I don't know. It could be holographic since he was on the holodeck.
So if you that's all things not to do in love. Looking for love in all the wrong places.
Oh, Seven just gave it to him. Yeah, I was kind of like half paying attention at the end there.
Oh yeah,
So-
she was like, I made it better, and he was like, thanks.
Ah, yes. So 1 minute to the last episode, 11:59, which is It's Just a Christmas episode.
Oh.
The whole story is Janeway's ancestor works in the
Oh.
big
It's a great
city. She
story.
has this big, fancy, important job, and she meets
I
the
hate
small
this
town
episode.
librarian and falls in love with him and adopts his child.
I think the thing that is frustrating about this episode is the pace is just get on with it.
Yeah. Also, it's right. It's hard to understand the significance of the plot in any way.
There is no significance. It's filler.
It's filler, and then at the end, she's like, "Oh, and didn't actually happen."
It was all a dream.
No, it happened.
No, it didn't.
What did happen is people pressing play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
It's like ancestor
And speaking
Janeway
of-
that was a big explorer or something. She was actually
Speaking
like,
of segueing,
washed up.
let's
No.
segue into this sponsor.
So this, who's the sponsor?
Nobody. The sponsor is me.
Okay.
It's me.
So the
Mhm.
the person Kate Mulgrew plays, that's not her ancestor per se. That's not Janeway, because Janeway is the guy who owns the bookstore and has a son. That's Mr.
Oh no,
Janeway.
are they going to do the whole? It's the only thing you can see from space. Yep, yes they are.
Yeah.
Also, that's a lie.
Yeah.
It's explicitly a lie. That's not true.
It was 1999 though. We didn't have.
Yeah, 3.8 meters wide. Yeah, not gonna happen.
You
If you
can't
could
see the
see
great-
that clearly from space, you could see any major highway from space super easy.
No. Okay. Wait. The Great Wall.
It's smaller than a highway by far.
I
Yeah,
haven't
that's
been
not
there,
wide
so
enough. I
really
think it's the
can't-
problem, isn't it?
I really can't
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, 3.8 meters. That's like no.
Okay,
It's
but
like as big as a truck.
Which
is
you
it-
can see from space, but not with the naked eye.
But you can see anything from space.
With the
Oh,
telescope,
something-
sure.
Episode.
It's got a really big
They're pretty good.
telescope.
Sorry, Robo, what'd you say?
So this part
said
about,
nothing.
one of my ancestors built it, that's the part that is revealed to be a lie, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
She was
Wait.
going to go do it, and then she met the small town librarian and his crippled child and fell in love.
It's like, oh, I'm going to abandon my entire life's ambition for this cute little story.
In SimCity 2000, which was a
What?
game we had when I was a kid, you
That was a segue.
you build a city with like, and sometimes as time goes on, you get more and more technological improvements. So instead of coal plants, you have nuclear plants. And so the city and also the wonders or whatever you build get more futuristic. So one of the final things you could build after like 2050 or 2500, I forget which, was a giant ecosystem inside a bubble on top of like a skyscraper,
Weird.
like a
I
four.
grew up in Indiana. All this Indiana stuff makes it's just weird.
Why is she giving a captain's log?
Yeah.
It's a tradition that she started.
This
That's
lady's
so-
crazy.
But
But
we
she's
really
talking to like a tape or something, isn't she?
Yeah, she's leaving voice memos for herself.
Yeah.
we want people to live in like biodomes before we go into space full time.
Do we?
Well, that's what the Millennium Gate is about. It's its own ecosystem, self-contained city that they're building. It's not just a shopping mall.
It's mostly a shopping mall, I'm pretty sure.
The guy says it's a glorified shopping mall, but it's a futuristic city that's designed.
It's
to
a
be...
shopping mall made of duranium.
Yeah.
Very fancy. What year? Wait, I know she literally just said it, but what year does this take place?
1991.
2000.
Well, it's the new year, right? So like the contract expires on January 1st. So
Okay, so she
Just
has
a-
a good like 25 years before the world explodes.
yeah. Well, the eugenics wars were in 1996, so the world should have been exploded already. Actually,
Nah, don't worry about it. That got retconned. It never happened, or it did happen, but it was like a series of skirmishes.
okay, or like just in Australia and India or something.
The eugenics wars is one of those things we politely pretend didn't happen.
Yeah, because we also in Future's End with Henry Starling, we see Los Angeles in 1996, and there's no problems there.
They did mention the eugenics wars again in Strange New Worlds, but in a slightly different context. It was like, oh, it started as being called the eugenics wars, then the American Civil War, then just World War III. So they made it sound like it was just one long, drawn-out conflict. Also, it feels really weird that they're panning over the name of something right to left.
Yeah.
So you just have to keep in mind what it said before.
Oh, so they can now pan this direction to keep the same shot, but then they didn't. They switched shot.
Asking for direction. People don't ask for direction. Oh, there he is, small town librarian.
All right, so this is really funny because he's so rude
Oh, no,
to
that's not
her,
him.
and she's like, "Are people friendlier off exit 9?" And then she rear ends somebody else. So it's because she has to have the last word that she kind of ruins her life right now because she has like no money left, and she's getting into accidents. She has no money for gas even.
Now
Um,
what? No, call
Yeah.
the cops. Get her arrested.
People were poor back in the day.
If he gets this lady arrested, she'll never meet the small town librarian. She won't have children and will avert so many genocides in the future.
He's a
Yeah.
He's a bookstore owner, not a.
2 weeks will live.
He's a small bookstore. This is before Amazon, so we still had like mom and pop bookstores. But another funny thing is though, in real estate, whenever they build like a new development, there's always like one holdout who's like everybody else sells their house for like market value or a little bit above. And this other
Most
person was
famously in the movie Up.
I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, no, like, well, at some point they do sell for like 5 million or 2 million.
Not
But-
in Up, they don't.
No, in Up we don't sell it. We just go to.
The
sell.
value
In
of the
Up, he
house
gets
does
a
go
new
up.
child.
But so she walks into the store randomly.
Why
It's a
did she go
bookstore.
in here? Does she need a book?
He needs a warm
She's-
place.
Yeah, she's looking for refuge. But what I don't like about this episode is that this character, like the guy has history. Kate Mulgrew's character has no history. She just starts off driving an Oldsmobile car. Oh, something else really cool. That car is so old. I'm glad we don't drive those ugly things anymore.
See, the child is a cripple. He's just a social cripple.
Yeah.
Samesies.
So she walks into like a really tinderbox situation over here because they have literally like 6 hours to sell the bookstore and like build the Millennium Gate, or otherwise it'll never be built. And this guy's like, no, I'm hanging on here for dear life. My granddaddy.
I mean,
built
but
this
we know
bookstore.
none of this actually matters. The Millennium Gate doesn't matter because it's just going to get blown up. The creation of warp drive and the first real flights into space don't depend on this at all.
Yeah, it's kind of true, but you know what though? Okay, so we got to see Kate Mulgrew have a love interest, basically.
Henry, like Henry Archer, who created the Warp 5 drive?
I don't know. It's kind of questionable how much the government should be allowed to destroy, like, people's businesses to build a new development or houses. But the Constitution allows it. It's called eminent domain, where they're going to give you market value and they're going to build a highway, whether you like it or not.
Spoiler alert. Rome does not withstand the barbarians.
That was a good joke. Licking synapses sucks because it tastes terrible.
Yes.
It's like the worst taste possible.
How do bookshops make enough money to support the people? Because it doesn't... Like, a book isn't worth that much. And I never got the impression that bookstores have super high volume.
I mean,
Whenever
they're
you
all
go to a
closed
bookstore, it's
now.
always very quiet.
There used to be like way more, so it is a very like low margin kind of business. A lot of times they'll have a coffee shop, which will supplement their income.
I think it's been a trend ever since, like, TV and stuff became big. The bookstores have been
True.
downsizing.
And also, when that was your only source of books, like you had to go there.
It's the only source of knowledge. You would have no
Yeah.
choice. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't just Google something. You're like, oh, I need to go
No.
and like see if there's books on this.
Yeah,
God, these
Or-
primitives.
there's
Don't
no
even have
Wikipedia,
Google.
so I need to like buy a dummies book. And
If Google didn't exist, I'd probably just perpetually be inside a library because inquisitive mind and all that.
Now she's stealing his electricity.
yeah, that's what we used to do. We used to hang out in libraries.
When I was younger, it was like, it was the uncool people that go to the library, which is a
Hey.
shame.
You know, when I was 14, I read a book by a New York Times Jerusalem correspondent about the Arab-Israeli conflict, And a couple of years ago, I tweeted at him that like, he wrote the best book I could have read at 14, and he was very humbled. Thank you for telling me that. But yeah, no, you got to read. By the way, librarians are amazing at curating books, so you'll get the right books too at a library.
Is this guy just...
He's a lot. By the way, he looks a lot like
Is this guy just a weeb, but for Rome?
Yeah.
In Europe, they still drink warm beer. Cold beer is kind of
Gross.
an American thing.
No, I don't think so.
Yes, multiple Europeans we have. How do you feel about warm beer?
Disgusting. As soon as
Gyrinx, you count,
refrigeration
even though
became
you're
a
a fake
thing,
European.
Oh. Okay. Not a fan.
Thank you.
But I learned to drink beer in America, so.
I go into a place that's very famous for its beer, say, I don't know, Germany,
hmm
and you ask for a warm beer, and they'll be like, "What?"
Like, you want us to put it on the stove, or...
Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
But the only reason that the warm beer thing was a thing is because refrigeration didn't exist.
Mhm.
So you would like, you would do something. You would like maybe put
Yeah.
your little flask thing in a river or something.
Yeah. Or maybe in like Soviet days or something, like they just didn't have enough money to like put it in the like heat it up or put it in the fridge or whatever. It was just really
Soviet
perfect
days.
He'll absolutely wear a floor. So.
But wait, where is what
She
what
is
is
going- she
O'Donnell
is going
doing?
She's going to be an astronaut, but she doesn't have gas money.
She's just going to Florida, doing Florida stuff.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Oh my god, her story extra doesn't matter
Has
because
to be
Florida's
good.
going to be destroyed. Yes.
But this guy's just a holdout to the prior century. Millennium, really.
Mr. Janeway. Mr. Henry Janeway.
I mean, I didn't see any customers at that bookstore. How is he even holding out? Like, what is he holding out for? But in fact, even when Janeway comes in for a hot cup, he gives her decaf. So you're not even selling coffee. Canton, Ohio is another one of those steel mill, blue collar, working class towns.
He's on the side of progress.
They have a
Yeah,
wrecking
we don't really
ball.
need the downtown. Just
I like the wrecking
Just
ball
get
behind
rid of
him.
it.
It's like all he has to do is just say the word, and they'll start like wrecking his shop.
But the law says
This-
the person with the biggest wallet gets the biggest prize. Right?
French. People still speak French?
Isn't that a strange esoteric dead language in the future?
2000.
I mean, I think that's the timeline that we can all hope for, as the French becomes a dead language pretty soon.
Honestly, could we just eliminate basically all current languages, including English? English sucks. We need to change it. Can we just get rid of all the current languages and just merge them together? Could we make one? Can we all learn
Well,
Esperanto?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
that
gonna
was
say.
tried and it's completely failed because there was no no one wanted to start it.
No,
You know, like
English-
there's no
it's
like-
connection to it. No one
There's
has
an
a connection to
XKCD
it.
comics like, oh, there are 13 competing standards. That's ridiculous. We need to make one standard to unify everyone's cases. New situation,
Yeah.
there are 14 competing standards.
Yeah.
English is actually a pretty great language, I want to say.
Dude, English
but
sucks. The rules don't make sense.
sure, the spelling
There
is
are
all
at least
over the
3
place.
letters that don't do anything.
The spelling is all over the place.
Oh, it's an amalgamation of several other languages. That's why there's a lot of weird stuff in it.
Yeah.
But it's got a massive amount of flexibility, which is pretty much why
But-
it's still around.
English is the linguistic equivalent of spaghetti code.
Yeah.
But one of the really amazing things about the Latin alphabet is that if you have a typewriter, it's really easy to like print block letters because they're naturally very easy to make blocky. If you look at other languages that have a lot of wavy lines in their characters, and then the letters are all jointed, so you need a special. And Arabic and Hebrew, a letter looks different if it starts at the beginning of a word, if a letter's in the middle of the word, or if a letter's in the final letter of a word. It's different final forms.
How does
And
typing work for languages where like one
Yeah.
symbol represents one word?
yeah, and then you have that, which is you have different.
Not
Well,
involved as I understand.
it's called simplified, but they have you put in a few keystrokes based on the way you'd write it, and then the character comes up.
I guess English has an evolutionary advantage over other languages. in that
Yeah.
Yeah,
sense.
we get rid of the symbolic language. Trim out all the trash from English.
But you want to deal with the technical debt of English? Good luck.
No, I want to scrap it and start over.
Oh,
But
okay.
like I was,
You
I
got
was
a better
talking-
idea of it.
there's a law in Congress, like as we speak, to get rid of daylight saving time. And I was telling my mom, like, you know what?
Sunshine Protection Act.
At this point, like reprogramming everybody's digital clocks, like it's
It would take all of one cycle.
maybe, but I'm just
I
saying,
just
like,
think the
if you
name
had
is hilarious. The Sunshine Protect. It's like like the US will now protect sunshine.
Yes.
We are saving the sun.
hey Robo,
Saving it
Wait,
from
why do we
what?
have 2 robos? What's happening?
The other one's gonna disappear. I was in two voice chats simultaneously. I discovered that way back at the beginning of Discord, before you had to do like email confirmation, someone used one of my emails to make a Discord account, and I reappropriated it from them.
mm-hmm.
Okay.
Why is the other one not left? Hold on, I'll fix it.
Those are 2 separate accounts, like you
Shannon
said.
O'Donnell.
I can't even kick him out. I can't
What?
disconnect the fake robo.
What?
Hold on.
How did
There.
you gain that power?
Better?
Yes, better.
You can't learn it from a Jedi.
Yeah. That's what it looks like.
Is
I
it
mean, did you
possible
ever
to
hear the
learn this
tragedy of
power?
Darth Plagueis the Wise? It's not a story of the Jedi,
Yeah.
I tell you. It's a Sith legend. Darth Plagueis was the Dark Lord of the Sith, so powerful and so wise, he could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. He had such a knowledge of the
someone
dark
did
side,
that-
he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying.
Someone did it with a they created a Twitter account with one of my emails too, and I stole that away from them as well.
What do you mean you stole it? Are you
They
admitting
had
to
used my
stealing?
email. They had used my email to create a Twitter account, and I discovered that they had used my email to create a Twitter account before Twitter did email verification. So I was like, okay, reset password, and I took the account back, or I took it over. It's like, you're not gonna use my email address to make a Twitter account.
Aw. There's her progenitor.
I really wanted, like, multiple people in that picture to just be Kate Mulgrew.
That'd
This
be
kind of
funny.
this kind of
Or
reminds me of
photoshopped again.
in Picard. We find out that Jean-Luc Picard has a female astronaut in his ancestry.
Renee,
Is-
yes.
and she has depression.
Yeah, well, don't we all these days?
And Q is her psychiatrist.
Yes, Q is her Dr. Lecter psychiatrist. But actually, in 1999, the millennium was kind of like big news. We were all worried that none of the computers would work, and it was a completely arbitrary thing. But it's not very often the millennium rolls over.
It was because a lot of early computer systems, not really consumer ones, but like systems that ran like industrial equipment and infrastructure, weren't designed to have been in service into the year 2000. So their systems didn't have date codes that extended beyond 99. So they were worried that a lot of systems that controlled infrastructure were just going to like take a dump. And they had to go through and basically update all these machines to make sure all the infrastructure was ready for when the date rolled over.
It was pretty silly because the actual risk of like clocks being wrong on industrial equipment is like people acting like nuclear reactors were going to freak out and like just explode. Like no, like banks were going to have trouble because of like old COBOL systems with 2-year digits. But like
that's what I'm saying. At my job, we use old
and
COBOL.
the civilization was never 9.
So you know, like outdated systems. Like I was reading, a majority of ATMs in the world, they still run Windows XP. So people use outdated software.
I don't think. Well,
Yeah,
there was
but
a lot
it doesn't
of
always actually matter that much.
They only
Yeah,
recently stopped making licenses for Windows 3.1 because they were using them for aircraft infotainment systems.
Wow.
I believe it.
Yeah, I don't think the
Sorry,
argument was
Argos.
that the world's going to end. It was just that when.
Oh no, people
you
were
have-
very much saying the world was going to end. That was a whole thing.
No, if you
Y2K was gonna. Y2K was. There was a whole prepper movement around it. It was nuts.
yeah. So anyway, if you let me finish,
Sorry.
the argument, like, from like the people that were talking about these systems was never that. It was that when you have some sort of like problem like that, like we it's gonna roll over or like it's gonna hit a limit, you enter into the scary world of undefined behavior in computers, and you really don't know what will happen when that happens.
Yeah, but like that's all the time. I mean, it's yeah. I think a lot of people have a
Stuff like
very
that happens
elevated opinion of how reliable computers are.
Structure.
But it wasn't all going to have the same reaction to the date being weird. In fact, almost nothing was going to have a reaction because most things don't care what date it is.
The point is that you don't know what the reaction would have been because there's no way to model undefined behavior. That was the point. So that's what
That
the
was-
updates were doing.
It was nuts. The whole thing. No, there's no credible way that it was actually going to cause that much damage.
No, but okay, but see, like I feel
That's
like
the thing. You can't say that because you
Right.
don't know what the undefined behavior is.
like Robo was saying, you know,
But
it
like-
could have been in an industrial setting where like a consumer would have nothing to do with it. Like not you and me in the
nuts.
living rooms.
This is all nuts. No, things that having the wrong date are not going to just.
No, but
Just
can you
things are
imagine
not that stable to begin with. Things are just not that reliable.
if a
Things
computer
are not like so incredibly
Gyrinx,
Tightly
it's okay. It's just a
functioning that
computer.
the date being wrong is no.
Gyrinx, show us on the doll where the date touched you.
I just.
No, but okay, if a computer from 1999 it rolls over to 1900, that can't be good.
Nothing. So few things will actually.
No,
care.
it's better than that. It's better than that because a lot of computer systems, the earliest
It would just
date
roll
is
to
like
0.
1960.
Yeah, the Unix.
Yeah, well,
1970, I
the
think.
ones that those weren't the ones that were going to roll over though. The ones that were going to roll over just had due dates. Like the Unix epic is like it's 1970, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
The if you put a date of 0 in, if you set date to integers in Excel and you set it to 0, the date is like January 0th January 0th, 1900.
Yeah. That's cute.
Yeah. Yeah.
Alexandria books. So this guy's like really going back to the wonders of the ancient world, huh?
Yeah, he's a weeb for Rome.
He's been like talking about Zeus and all that the whole time. Like,
Yeah.
He's a weeb for Rome.
Rome weeb.
He's like the
Which-
only one.
I mean, being a weeb for Rome is kind of a thing these days, but it has very different implications now.
What do you mean?
There, talking about ancient Rome is very often used as a dog whistle for racism,
Yeah.
which
Western chauvinism.
makes it hard to just talk about Rome normally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's when it's used in a particular way, you know, like, oh, like the supremacy of this or that, or like, oh, we just need to get back to this time. Like you can kind of pick up on it, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas if someone's just talking like,
Yeah.
oh, you know, this myth or whatever, this legend, this
Or like-
different conversation.
Like I just said, the Latin alphabet is particularly conducive to typewriting. And Robo, you're unwrapping paper. And
What are you eating? Is that Taco Bell? Is it Burger King?
Are you
It's
unwrapping
pizza.
a Roman dog whistle?
It's pizza. Is it a Mexican pizza from Taco Bell?
No, it's a pizza. Pepperoni and mushroom. Let me switch it to NVIDIA broadcast.
What do people have against push to talk? Y'all need push
So,
to talk
wait,
in your
Jeff.
lives.
I think
Because my hands are greasy, and
think-
I'm far away from the keyboard.
what Janeway does here. Well, not Janeway, Shannon O'Donnell. She decides to not become an astronaut in Florida in return for him giving up his bookstore, and then they settle together. Yeah, things were rough in 1999. People living in their cars, bitter cold.
That's a reason.
Haven't they known each other for like 3 days?
Yeah, less
Right?
like 2.
You don't
With
even
TV
know
time,
her.
it's like a month.
No, the real time is
all right.
is
So
that once the new year millennium happens, the clock is done.
This entire episode takes place over the course of a week.
to be fair, I recently dated a girl who wanted to get married and have kids after the first date. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it's normal. I'm just saying it's out there.
Maybe you just charmed her
Oh my
that
god.
much.
Did you see Jason's shirt? It's just a big dragon.
So
What are you wearing, Jason?
the kid wanted like a mom, and dad drove her away. Okay, why
It's
is the
gonna rain.
the news cameras are rolling every time he goes outside? So 12.
Would you want Janeway as your mom, though?
Shannon O'Donnell? I wouldn't want that guy as my
Sure.
dad.
Would you want?
Say that.
If you're an
I'd rather-
only child, it's
Would you-
probably fine. If you have siblings, I feel like there'd be some complications
With Janeway as your mom?
with Janeway. Yeah, because I would worry that she
What
would
if-
murder her least favorite kid.
I was gonna say, like, what if she has to choose between the two of you?
She would be 100% willing to choose. Not a problem.
He'll put you on that transporter pad and dematerialize you once and for all. I have to kill you to save the other one.
So funny story here. Kim was like, my ancestor showed up at a solar system and there was nothing there, no planet. And he had to be awake for 6 months while everyone else was in stasis. Is that a metaphor for his career?
That's a heavy lean on Janeway.
The doctor talks about his family history. He's like, well, my great 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 grandfather was a pocket calculator.
You're being mean, like Paris, Robo.
It's a little racist against holograms.
Oh, something really funny in like a future in a future episode with Barclay. The doctor says, "Oh, I want my holo emitter to be like the schematics to be submitted to the Federation, so we can give more rights to AI and holograms." And it's like Picard just throws a wrench in that because like all AI is going to be banned, and I'm pretty sure holograms are going to get the short end of the staff too.
Mm,
Oh, she does go into space.
nope, never heard of them. Weird.
Look, this episode is like when T'Pol went back. T'Pol played her grandmother. That's all. She's playing her great 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 grandmother.
Everything you know is a lie.
Oh,
Your
so-
ancestor was just some crazy person who made captain's logs in her broken down car.
she didn't have money for gas.
It doesn't matter whether
It-
she did or didn't. It inspired her anyways, even if it was fake.
Kind of like how Elizabeth Warren thought she was Native American, but she's not.
I wonder. Sometimes I wonder. They say things like, "Oh, yeah, we'll piece together our lives 100 years from now." It's like, at some point, someone's going to watch Star Trek for the last time. How long is Star Trek going to last?
Forever.
Do people stop watching Star Trek because it got too old, or because they died in nuclear fire?
There's gonna be some
Oh,
hard drive on the
I'm-
moon with all the episodes.
I'm going with environmental calamity,
when
like
when life evolves
anthropo-
again, they're gonna find all those episodes. Sorry.
anthropogenic climate calamity.
What about nuclear fire as a result of war stemming from a shortage of natural resources? We could mix the two
Due to
together.
anthropogenic climate change.
There wouldn't really be shortage of natural resources because we keep getting better at extracting them.
I mean, technically, what we're seeing in the Ukraine right now is essentially.
It's not the Ukraine, it's
happens
just
when-
Ukraine.
Did I say Ukraine or the Ukraine?
You said the. There's no the.
Well, anyway,
It used to be
what's
the.
happening
It
there
used
right
to be
now
The was
is-
correct. And we also used
is
to say
exactly-
the Sudan, but I don't know why we don't say it.
Yes.
it's exactly what will happen when one nation is reaching a limit of their economy, and they have to, in order to survive, they have to essentially eliminate the competition, expand, and China will do the same thing soon, I'm sure.
I don't think that's what's going on.
Who's reaching the limit of their economy?
Yeah. I don't think like Russia needs natural resources. That's why it took Ukraine. I think
Russia, you don't understand. Over 30% of Russia's GDP comes from selling gas to the rest of Europe,
Not anymore.
and Ukraine has, not anymore, right? Ukraine has massive amounts of natural
Coal.
gas deposits that,
Mhm.
since natural gas, that they've been developing since the Zelensky government took over, and that's a direct threat to
monopoly on
a
Europe's
huge amount
gas
of
reserves.
Russia's GDP. And also, the pipelines that were running through Ukraine were being taxed or charged heavily to transport the Russian gas. So Russia wants to, there's like a lot of goals here. They want to eliminate competition for gas. They want to reduce their cost of transporting gas into the rest of Europe. They want to change the border with NATO so it's more defensible. There's a lot of reasons why they're doing it. None of them are valid, but
One thing that I've learned from all the coverage of it is that we really don't understand their motivations very well, so we just try and say it's one thing, and then the next week it's another thing.
I don't think they understand their motivations.
I think they've got a very different cultural context, so their motivations probably don't seem logical to us.
Well, Putin's also on all sorts of steroids, so it could also partially be steroid aggression.
So, sorry, she says she saw Da Vinci's Last Supper recreated in corn. This
Vinci's
episode-
Last Supper? Wait, what?
God, freaking Ohio. What's even the point?
Yeah, she said she was in Nebraska or something. There was a museum or something with Da Vinci's Last Supper, where Christ is seated, in a triangle and all that.
That's probably the most interesting thing for 1,000 miles. That the whole middle section of the United States, there's nothing there except corn.
Yeah, and ethanol.
So what happens to Janeway in the end? I forget.
Okay, so her
Well,
ancestor.
give it 3 minutes.
Her ancestor isn't the great astronaut she thought she was going to be, but
That's not our ancestor, is it?
No, it is.
no, that's her ancestor.
Well, why was the other guy
they-
called... The guy's called Janeway?
Yeah, but they get
Yeah,
married and have
they-
kids,
Oh, right.
so they both become an ancestor.
Oh, yeah, she goes back. Okay.
She's going to convince him to sell for the child's sake, because it's a Christmas movie. And then they're going to live happily ever after, and her great-great-great-great-grandchild is going to commit genocide a few times.
But she's going to get Tom Paris out of the New Zealand colony. Man, he's still working by candlelight, huh? He
Who's
loves.
me?
I'm the woman who abandoned you. She's funny.
That's a big candle. I assume
like-
that's an inside joke from earlier in the episode, but
it's
yeah, I
from
did
early-
not catch that at all.
Yeah, I don't remember it.
I mean, it means chickens apparently, so it didn't make any sense.
Okay. Jeff Bezos is in front of you. You'll have nothing to pass down to your son, Mr. J.
Why do the police have their lights going outside?
I think okay, so the townspeople, there's about to be a riot or something. And so the news is there and the corporate executives are there and they're just holding everybody back because everybody wants to. This line is interesting. She was eating cookies in her car and that's why she decided to drive back.
I find myself asking that question all the
Yeah.
time, Henry.
Yeah.
What does this have to do with anything?
Oh. Her car
You don't
is
even know him.
They're in Seattle right now. Her car would have never made it to Ohio or Florida, wherever she was going.
It would have been fine. The whole area is so flat, she could have just coasted all the way there. What about Jason?
Doesn't he open a bookstore in the Millennium Gate Tower thing?
I know he was offered space in it. I don't remember if he takes it. He probably will.
They don't sing a duet like the Doctor and Seven do, though. I mean, you kind of know at the beginning. Oh, he does want to open it. You kind of know at the beginning when he's like, "Well, we're not going in." By the end of the episode, we'll capitulate.
I don't think this is one of the stronger Voyager episodes.
Wait, and how come we never see one customer in this store?
Because
These are closed
bookshops
all the
don't
time.
have customers.
Because everybody's mad at him for not selling, because everybody wants to sell, but they can't sell until he sells.
Mhm.
So nobody wants to go shop at his store because he's the bad guy.
Yeah, but his son's already outside.
Is
have,
Jason not allowed in?
They have they have a minute to spare.
Well, hang on, he hasn't said anything yet. Maybe he's just here to tell you off.
He
He's
did
like, go
change
away.
It's a cute episode.
Yes, now that I've ruined his life, I can move on.
I don't know.
Good
I don't know
Janeway.
why you guys are knocking the episode. It was a cute episode.
It's just like, ugh, boring. The nice bits are when Janeway in this is talking about it, like,
You know,
but actually
like,
watching it was boring.
you think your ancestors is a great historical person, but it really turns out that they actually just had a small impact on human history, but an impact nonetheless.
Nah, not really.
Well, I think the reason that
This-
stuff like that gets like mythologized is because it creates an inspirational figure. Like the part of the reason Janeway got into all of this was because she thought her ancestor was like
Mhm.
such a good person. Oh, they've done all this stuff, and she was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I want to live up to that as inspirational."
Mhm.
Well, I thought you loved warp conduits.
There's a debate I really like between Rabbi David Wolpe and atheist writer Sam Harris. But so Sam
Oh,
Harris
boy.
is like, how come you don't believe in reincarnation? And so Rabbi Wolpe says, well, look, you know how come everybody, when they believe in reincarnation, they think they were somebody famous, like you thought you're Cleopatra or someone, but like, how do you know you weren't just a washerwoman?
Statistically,
'Cause nobody
most
was
people's
reincarnated.
past selves would be peasants.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know where we're
Nobody
getting
was
all the extra
reincarnated, but
souls
when you-
from, because the
when you
population
pay-
count's going up.
When you pay a charlatan to tell you who you were reincarnated from, they're not going to tell you were a 16th century serf,
Chicken poker.
that shoveled manure.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you were some royalty,
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
something interesting.
Why would you want to know that? Because, like, obviously, if you were royalty then, chances are you're not royalty now, so you've taken a step down from your last life. Why would you want to know that?
It makes you feel better about how shitty your life is.
Now, hang on, look at that photo. Look how old they are. So this takes place after World War III, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
This particular scene, because this is weirdly idyllic. I mean, it's kind of creepy, but it's supposed to be idyllic. Where's the ramshackle?
You
Where's
want
the
more
new-
ramshackle in your
I
historical
do. I want it
photos?
to look like Fallout in that picture. I
Where's
want
the
them all
people-
to be wearing leather armor
Mhm.
with a gun.
When people take a nice photo together, they want it to look nice. You know, it's probably like all the grass within like a mile,
It's just a green
square mile.
screen.
They're like scrimping it up just so they could do their photo.
Oh, no, it's because they were in Ohio and nobody even bothered nuking Ohio because
Oh,
nothing's
so there's
there.
nothing there. Yeah. Wait, I thought it was
You know,
Iowa,
That whole region.
the empty quarter.
region.
The episode took place in
sequel.
Seattle. It did not take place in Idaho.
Yeah, but the millennium, I don't know.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Chad.
So, okay, what's actually next week's episodes? Because last week I lied about what they're going to be. Let's see. Star Trek. Let me go to my folders. So next is the last 3 episodes of Season 5. Relativity, where 7 of 9 actually gets a uniform. Warhead, where the Doctor almost destroys the ship by bringing a literal bomb on board. Good job. And Equinox Part 1. Not Part 2,
No.
just Part 1. And then Part 2 will be the week after.
Oh my.
You have a
Leave it as
true-
an actual cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah. We had so... Remember when we got... Well, when I got demonetized and I canceled the Voyager watch-along
Oh,
for a
yeah.
while?
That's right.
That was a cliffhanger. That was... We ended on Basics Part 1 and then stopped for like 4 months.
Which episode is that?
The one where the Kazon take over and they get left on a planet.
Oh yeah.
It's fine.
That's just the Kazon though. Like Equinox is really
Yeah.
special because it's an actual like Starfleet ship that they encounter.
So yeah, Relativity, Warhead, and Equinox Part 1. That's next week. Should be good. And then what's the schedule? Yeah, okay, good. Alright, stream's over. We're done here.
Bye.